Yes, people, welcome back to the YouTube. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to today's episode. I just want to say thank you before we start today. Thank you for all the love, the support, the shares, the likes, the comments and everything on the latest YouTube videos. They've been going down extremely well, and I would like to get more of them out there and posted more frequently, but it's turned into a pretty busy time of the year with coaching, and obviously that is always going to take a priority, but it's also not an excuse to neglect this. So there's been a few changes since the last video. Obviously the last video I posted was just a training video and a Q&A, in which I haven't really updated anyone on my current situations. So I thought today would be a cool one, just to touch base a little bit, update you, and then this will also be followed by some training footage later on, a push day, which I've just come back from the gym for now. So I'm currently just about to have my post-workout meal, which I'll show you. The very enjoyable, probably my favorite meal at the moment, which has been updated, which I'll update you on the updates, but we've made some adjustments to this meal now because food has gone up. Since my last full day of eating, I've had three food adjustments in 2 weeks, and there might be another one tomorrow, so I'm checking in tomorrow. So there might be another there would definitely be another full day of eating coming, but we'll update you on that when the time is right. But as of now, I'm just going to show you my post-workout meal, which is like I said, my current favorite, which is a very simple, again, chicken, rice, but we've added in some mango. We've added in pineapple, but I choose mango. I prefer mango, and I just macro match the mango to the pineapple. So we've got 125 dry weight jasmine rice, 175 raw weight chicken breast, alongside 100 grams of veg, today's choice, just some crunch, some crunch, carrots, cucumbers, and obviously this works about 65 grams of mango, which is about 50 grams of pineapple, more or less, just to add a little bit of fructose into the post-workout window. And as you can see, it was crazy that it's 3 o'clock, not even 3 o'clock, and it's already going dark out, so we gotta love the UK. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna catch up with you with a very small update, and then we'll see me train some chest. The best time of day. I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is one of my favorite parts of the day. Busy morning, lots of work to do. Pre-workout meal and post-workout meal are my time. And now is the post-workout meal time. Chuck some YouTube on. I allow myself to sit by here when I'm at a post-workout meal. Otherwise, I usually sit outside in the kitchen. You've seen that before. I just prefer it. Plus, no one's home right now, so I take the most of that. Put some stuff on the YouTube. Let me know what you guys watch post-workout. If you do, if you are like me and need to watch something post-workout, what is it you watch? Is it, again, bodybuilding related? Is it football? Is it rugby? Is it gaming? What do you like to do? It all depends on me, on the day. As of lately, I've been watching a lot of rugby highlights. Obviously, the Autumn Internationals is starting right now, and I've been watching that. Plus, we do watch a little bit of podcasts here and there, but I feel like a lot of them have been pretty damn boring and repetitive lately. But what have we got here?
One of the things that we've done,
Gareth Bale breaks down his iconic goals with Thierry Henry. Maybe that's today's watch.
One of the things that we've done. One of the things that we've done on recent shows that people have enjoyed here is kind of take a look back at some of your great goals and gone through them here and done some analysis on them. We're going to do the same with you, Gareth, with your great goals. So I'm going to take you back, first of all, 2007. You're a South African.
Rightio. Let's have a sit down. Let's have a quick chat. Let's have a quick update before we carry on. So, where are we? We are officially 5 weeks, I think, 5-6 weeks now into the off season. we finished my diet around the high 91 mark. So the last week of that diet, we thought, you know what, let's push really hard to see what happens for 7 days. We pulled calories pretty low. I think we went to 2,200 calories on a training day, 1,900 calories on a rest day. And we pulled and pushed pretty hard to see what changed. And nothing did, which was funny. So we thought a week later, let's wrap this diet up. We're all done here. Since then, we increased calories by about 600. And every single week, pretty much, even till now, my weight has continued to drop. And like I mentioned in the previous clip, I had 3 food adjustments, 3 or 4 food adjustments since the end of my diet, and then 3 have come in the last like a week or so, which has been pretty crazy. So my food currently is at 3,500 on a training day and 3,000 calories on a rest day. That might not sound a lot, and it's not. But for someone like myself, I've never needed to push food at all. I have never struggled to gain weight. I've never struggled to get lean. I've always been lucky that things never need to go to the extreme. I'm always within this range, right? So food never needs to go extremely high in an off season. Food never needs to go extremely low in a prep. Look, at some point in a prep, yes, it will come really low, and I'm sure somewhat in this at some point in this off season, especially now, it will go a little bit high. So we adjusted food, we increased carbs, we adjusted food again, increased carbs again, made a big jump, increased carbs, and nothing's changed. My body weight has kind of either dropped or remained the same. And I woke up today and I'm back into the 90s, which is surprising because, like I said, I ended my diet on the like high 91s, 92, and then we came down to like 90.5 after like 2 weeks of pushing back up. And then now we've just been in this floating game of I'm just between 91.4, the heaviest I've been, which I've been there once, and like 90.8, and I'm just going between there, and I'm pretty much 91 kilos on the dot every single day at the moment. So like I said, I've got a check-in tomorrow. We're gonna see now what the next step is. I can't imagine food being adjusted again, because that would literally be 4 adjustments in 3 weeks. We made an adjustment like on a Wednesday, and then by Sunday I dropped like a kilo, so Tim put more food in again, and then it just kept on happening. The only thing I can think why it is a couple of reasons. One, obviously I'm still doing this minimalist diet, okay? The minimalist diet, all my food is whole foods. I don't eat any shit. It's all super clean, super extremely well digestion. I get no like fullness, and I've said this before, but especially like the last 3 weeks, I've almost struggled with how hungry I've been, to the point where like it causes me to be almost upset, because I'm like, holy shit, I'm 11 months post show, and not once in these 11 months have I felt full from eating my normal food. And you think, fuck, this is, you know, it does eventually. Well, I can deal with hunger, okay? I can deal with hunger. I've done preps. Hunger is not a problem. But when you're 11 months after your show and you're still dealing with more hunger than you were on prep, you start to think, fuck, where is this going to end? Because look, hunger is, yes, it's great, but at some points it can almost be just like a pain in the ass to constantly just feel like you are never satiated. And it's just part of it, right? But the last 3 weeks some days have been an actual struggle, and I'm okay with admitting that. So yeah, so food's gone up, but the food quality is extremely high. The digestion of the food is really high. My absorption of food and my utilization of food is extremely efficient, I assume. My body fat levels have improved. So even though I ended the diet, since then, I'm probably leaner now than I was. And food is a lot higher, right? So it's basically what I'm eating, I am using. And every time I put a little bit more food in, it's just being used. Like my strength is going up, my muscle mass is absolutely going up. We have made a small adjustment to the PED side of things as well. So I am using currently the highest amount that I have used, but it's still absolutely a ridiculously small amount. And the body is just doing what it wants to do. It's improving every single week. We're not pushing anything. My cardio has remained in at 100 minutes per week. I do a minimum of about 14 to 15,000 steps a day. And I just feel good. So, I'll insert maybe some visuals here of today's post-workout look, and I must admit, I took them and I was pretty mind blown. I took an impromptu rest day yesterday, wasn't feeling the best. I thought, you know what, let me take a rest day, let me train tomorrow. Changed my split around ever so slightly, done a push day today as opposed to what would be either a rest day or obviously yesterday was meant to be legs, but I've pushed that session to Saturday now because I'm training with a friend. And I done push today, woke up, saw 90.9 on the scales, and I just instantly knew I was going to look good. And I checked in today, I took my post-workout shots, and I just knew. I was like, fuck, this is a great look. So, food, like I said, it's at like 3,500 now. The only other thing I can think why bodyweight isn't moving is because I've had no off plans. I've had one or two off plans since my diet. No, I've had 3 off plans since I came back from the cruise, and I was already dieting for 6 weeks before that cruise, and that cruise was in August, so August, September, October. So I've had 3 off plans in like 3.5, 4 months. So I'm not having a big influx in calories there either. So that could be another reason why weight's not moving, which is not a bad thing. So maybe I need more off plans. But again, Christmas period is coming up. I love Christmas. I got a few plans over Christmas, and I'd rather just enjoy the Christmas period without having off plans now unnecessarily, and then needed to hold back a little bit later on. Like I got a day out planned in the rugby. That day I'm going to be drinking, I'm going to eat in, I'm taking my bodybuilding cap off, literally, and I'm just being Jack, the guy that wants to enjoy his day with his family, and that's it. And then I got a few Christmas markets planned and all these things. And if you're like me, I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I love Christmas food. I love Christmas just socials, Christmas, whatever it is, etc., etc. So that's kind of the update. We'll wait until tomorrow to see what the feedback is within my check-in. I doubt, and I don't really want an increase in food, because I do think I just need to be a little bit patient, and I believe this food will start to saturate, but it just doesn't seem to be doing so just yet. But I believe we need to be a bit patient. So ideally, I think I don't want or need a food increase just yet. I'd give it another week myself, but obviously I'm not in control of that. So maybe I'll just have a burger this weekend and shoot my calories up. But anyway, that's enough rambling. That's an update. If food goes up tomorrow, I shall let you know, because I will carry this video into tomorrow, and I will do a full day of eating this week at the end of the week, because I got some cool stuff planned next week. So those are the videos you're going to see. But anyway, for now, I'm going to see you either tomorrow for an update on if I'm having more food, or reviewing and looking at my push day. Yes, people, so we're back, and we are going to review my push session today. I know people enjoyed when I done this last time, so we're going to do the same today, and I'm just going to dive straight into it. So as you can see, my push day currently starts with ab work. My midsection is something I need to bring up quite dramatically. Well, not dramatically, it's something that when I get lean, I notice it's lacking a little bit of tissue. It's got a lot better over the years, but it's something I've been consciously training this off season. And the best way for me to stay on top of training my abs is by starting my sessions with them. Because although sometimes I do feel like potentially it can take away from my session, because once my midsection is fatigued, doing certain exercises I may feel it a little bit more in terms of like affecting my session. If I don't do them, I hardly ever do them at the end of my actual session itself. So this is something I've consciously been doing at the start of at least 3 of my sessions per week, and push day is one of those. So I start with a cable ab crunch. As you can see, the big focus for me is keeping like hips, legs, everything neutral, and essentially just trying to bring my sternum as close to my belly button as I possibly can, and like arching at the upper back and really trying to squeeze everything out of my midsection, out of my abs, out of my abdominal wall, to really contract them, right? A lot of people, what you see going wrong here is they'll bend a lot of the hip, and a lot of the movement will come from the hip itself, and they'll be doing this as opposed to just bending the chest towards the actual hips themselves, or the belly button is what I like to think of. So just 2 sets here to start the session, and then that is, for me right now, that is recoverable. Like I said, I pretty much do them every other day, so I can recover from it. It feels good, it doesn't cause too much extra pain. Moving on, we are going on to this, is this worthless? I can't remember what machine this is. Side lateral raise, which is probably one of my favourite side lateral raises that I've used in terms of a machine. As you can see, I actually don't grab the handle, I don't hold them, because if I do, what I found, it causes quite a lot of elbow pain for me. So I literally just put the handle on my wrist and elevate that way, and it seems to be a lot better for me. 3 sets here. My lateral raise volume is a little bit higher. I only do lat raises twice a week, so each time I do them, I do 3 sets here, and then on my following session, I do 2 exercises, 2 sets each. So I do like 7 sets across the board, plus an extra like rest pause now and again, because I do feel like side delts are one of those exercises. The one, you could hit them pretty frequently. 2, you can hit them with quite a lot of volume. 3, in my opinion, they respond better to like a higher rep range approach. I just like to fill them full of blood, and that's how mine have always more improved, but not neglecting the weight. So I think I've worked within like the 8 to 15 rep range on all my working sets in terms of lat raises across the week. Moving on, this is the first time I've done this flat press in about 4 years, I won't lie to you. For the last 2 years I've been doing a low incline split press, but as of recently I trialed taking that out just because of how long I've been doing it. I was getting strong at it. I started to cause a few little niggles here and there in my pec, my elbow, etc. So I changed that, and I started doing my incline hammer strength machine first. But on this session, that machine was also taken, and it's been taken by like 3 people. So I thought, you know what, let me give this flat press a go. Just for today, at the end of the day, it's a hammer press. It's flat, it converges, and it gets really heavy at the top. The only difference is this is a bit more flat, the other's a bit more inclined, right? Realistically, there's not much that of a difference in one session. Would I alternate between them all the time? No, but this session, I didn't want to wait much longer, so I just jumped in. And honestly, it felt absolutely phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal. So I did start to consider maybe I want to do this alongside the hamstring inclines. Usually I would have done incline Smith into an incline, or low incline Smith, so basically a flat press, into a incline hamstring, and then I'd move on. But today I done this as my main press, and then I actually followed it by my as you can see here, my seated cable fly, and then I went on to do a dip. So I kind of changed this session around a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same shit, right? I'm not someone who will wait for a machine to be done for me to use it. If I want to use something, I don't mind alternating my session. Like, it's one of my preferences of the way I train. Like, some days I'll do a lateral raise second, some days I'll do it last. If it's taken, I'm not waiting for it. The way my sessions are structured, the exercises don't really take away from one another anyway. So for me today, doing this like fly, or yesterday when I was in the session, doing this fly before I done a dip doesn't take any way away from that dip, because I do a pretty tricep heavy dip. Plus I don't mind if my pecs are already slightly taxed going into a bodyweight dip, because again, it limits the amount of loading I need to use, which in hindsight limits the amount of pressures on my elbows, which is something I'm trying to keep intact lately. And something I've noticed when I press more than like twice a week, multiple exercises, my elbows just go to pop really quickly. So I did a bodyweight dip today, as you can see, proper old school, the dumbbell in between my legs, because somebody was using the dip belt, and I won't tell you what they were using it for, but let's just say they weren't using it for the appropriate way, I guess. So I tried doing the dip, I guess, and it didn't feel too bad. It really didn't feel too bad. I did have to readjust myself a little bit, plus I had to use a different dip. Everything I'd done on this session was different, But it goes to show that a lot of the time, I think people overthink like their training and oh my god, that's but I do that exercise. I've done that last week. I have to do it. I need to progress. Like usually, I do my dips on a different dip station. Plus, I use a belt. But at the end of the day, if I can progress or manage to do good numbers like this one's a bit more inconvenient, I know next time I do it in my regular setup, I am going to be able to progress, if that makes sense. So I done 2 sets here. Only recorded one because it was a bit inconvenient, as you can see, before moving on to the first tricep exercise of the day, which was this like incline, I don't know what you call it, some people call it Rapunzel press down, I just call it an incline bench extension. I know what that means when I program with people. And this exercise I like a lot. I know some people would do this kind of where my elbows are right now to start, and they like a bit more of a stretch on it. I like to lock my elbows in. I like to keep that elbow joint without moving. As you can see, nothing really moves. Sorry, the shoulder joint and the elbow joint. Nothing moves apart from my elbow joint here, and I do have a large emphasis on that contraction at the bottom. And it just feels absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, I am more stable, which means more force output. When there's more force output, it means more strength, right? More strength, more gains, all that bullshit. But this feels great to me. I do 3 sets here. My arm volume at the moment has just increased dramatically. I'm essentially doing arms whenever I can, whenever I can recover from it. For example, today I went to the gym to do cardio, and I done 5 sets of triceps before the cardio because I done push 2 days ago. There we go, that's when this session was, 2 days ago. I did biceps yesterday, I did triceps with cardio today, and I've got legs tomorrow, and I'm going to do biceps again. So that's essentially how I'm doing my arm training right now. If my arms don't hurt, I'm going to find a way of training them. I'm trying it. Maybe it's not the best recommendation for everyone else, but I want to do it. As you can see, what I mentioned earlier, sorry, about my lat raises, it was actually this session that I do 2 exercises on, and I've been doing this like behind the back lat raise. It just feels a bit nicer on my shoulder as opposed to it being in front of me. Plus, it does stretch my shoulder a little bit more at the back, and just feels more comfortable as opposed to it being in front of me. I feel like I don't get a real like actual stretch on the muscle, and I know stretch and contraction, all this bullshit can be overthought, but it just feels more comfortable. I like doing this way. I like doing it single arm. The other thing I do, as you can see, I'm still on kind of like the same station that I was doing the bench, is I will alternate between these. I'll happily go on the bench, do my set, wait a minute, and then do a set of side raises, especially when I'm on my last set of the tricep extension, because again, they don't take it away from one another. It makes my sessions a little bit more efficient, time-wise as well. I don't feel there's any kind of detrimental effect. I wouldn't do this with like a hack squat and a hamstring curl, but something like a press down and a lat raise, you're not going to get a massive crossover. So 2 sets here, again in a higher rep range. Thought I'd break the best up to see what you guys are looking at. Looking pretty lean. I am pretty lean at the moment. I've probably put some updates somewhere, but super happy with how things are going. I know I put a little update clip after this clip, which I recorded yesterday, but actually I've had if I didn't mention it in that clip, I've had another increase to 2 as of yesterday. Calves are looking good as well. As you can see, I've been training my calves quite a lot lately again, and they're responding. So train your calves. One tip for calves, for me, what I've focused on massively is a large emphasis on the stretch. Like I will spend like 3 seconds in the stretch on a standing calf raise, 3 seconds, and then the contraction, I don't even worry about fully contraction because you're not going to get that the calf fully short, right? So I don't even fully contract that the calf anymore. And then I believe I did do one more tricep exercise, but I don't think I filmed it. If I didn't, not. If not, it was literally just an overhead tricep extension of choice, which here is the new tech one, which I haven't shown before, I don't think. So that's pretty much my push session wrapped up. I am going to meet you back here now for an update clip, which I recorded yesterday. As always, everyone, if you want to see more of these, let me know. Peace out.